Here's your homework tutorial for week 12 homework. I'm going to start with the one that we did not get to start in class, and then that way um, anyone who needs the rest of the video can watch it again, and otherwise if you just need the one that we didn't get to, then we'll start with that one first. So this one is just passé composé, which the other one was passé composé with être specifically. So this one you're gonna have to, you'll read through the story and you'll be conjugating the verbs to agree with their subject, but you need to decide, does it need être as its helping verb to put in the passé composé or avoir? You can have your list handy, maybe like the slides on the side that tell you which verbs use être, and then if it's not on that list, then you know it's avoir. So arriver is on that list, so that uses être. So we've got Babette et moi, excuse me, let's start with reading the directions. You had an unusual experience in Paris. Now you're telling your friends about it. Complete the sentences in the passé composé using être or avoir as necessary. If there are two blanks, separate each answer with a comma. That's just to increase the chances of being able to see it correctly. Or for it to match correctly, but not a super big deal. Okay, so Babette et moi, nous, and we've got arrivé, on vit à 2h du matin. So we've got Babette and I, we, I'm gonna say arrived in the town at 10 o'clock in the morning. So because we know that it uses être, then we conjugate être in the present tense to agree with nous, which is some, and then use the past participle of arriver, which is arrivé with the accented E. So our answer here would be sommes arrivés with the accented E, but because it's être, then we're gonna also look to see what changes that we need to make to the like the end. Do we just need to add an S if this is masculine plural? Does it just stay the same if it's masculine singular? Are we adding another E if it's feminine plural, feminine singular, or ES if it's feminine plural? Well, in this story, you don't know who moi is. It could be you. I mean, you can't really consider that it's you because the story was written, it already has correct answers. But because Babette is in the group, then of us, then now it's still going to be the, let me see here. What do I have? Yep, I didn't put an answer there. Because it kind of can go either way. I'm going to say that I can grade it. If you are a girl answering this, then you're going to say the accented E with the extra E and an S because you are in a group. And the guys will answer just accented E and S because now this is a mixed group, and so that's how that goes. So we will go ahead and just do it based on whoever's answering. And then we've got Babette and then partir. Voir sa cousine et moi, je allais à la banque. Okay, so Babette leaves to see her cousin. We need to say she left to see her cousin, and then et moi, je allais. Okay, so both of those are going to also use être, and then the same thing. Do you need to add the extra E or another E and an S? Arriver, entrer. So pousser, crier. Well, you can continue to look, but and then plus you'll have like a little bit of an interesting story. So you'll just be conjugating either avoir or être in the present tense. If it is avoir, then you just put the past participle, and if it's a verb that uses être, then you just need to make sure that the ending agrees. So for the homework, for the passé composé with être exclusively, well then we know that these are going to all use être as the helping verb or auxiliary verb. So here we're going to look at this list, combine the following subjects with an appropriate verb chosen from the list. So only one of these can be correct, and you're going to find the clue that you need from the subject. So we'll just select the correct answer from the choices. So we have la mère. the choices are est arrivé, arrived, sont rentrés, came back, est parti, left, or sont retournés, returned. Because la mer is singular, we can immediately eliminate the sont because that is plural conjugation. So of the two choices, est arrivé, est parti, those are the only ones that it could be because la mer is singular. Well, because it is, these are être verbs, then we need to see which one of these allows for a feminine singular subject, which means it's going to have an extra E. Well, if you look at your past participle list, then you see that arrivé with this accent is just the past participle, which means that it's the masculine singular. But parti, masculine singular, is just drops the R from partir and has the I, so parti. So they've added an E, so the correct answer is the third one, la mère est partie, because it has the extra E. Le garçon, same thing. Le garçon is singular. You can automatically eliminate the plural answers. And then from just going over this with the last one, we know that this one added an E because it is feminine singular, and this one did not. And so then this is going to be our correct answer. So you'll just go through looking at that to see which one of these. And it is possible to use, these 4 options more than once because we've got 10, situations or whatever. And then for the next section, on Tuesday morning, your teacher wants to know how you spend the 4-day weekend. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the passé composé. These are going to all use être because exclusively that's what this section is for, so you don't necessarily need to consult your list, but you may want to keep it handy for the past participle, correct past participle. So we've got mercredi, mes cousins arrived, arrivé de Montréal. So Wednesday, my cousins, and there's no indication that this would be a group of girls. It's just as it could be, mixed group or just a couple of guy cousins. We don't know, but this is what we'll use to agree, agree with our verb, past participle, and then de Montréal. Okay, so the subject here is mes cousins. That's plural, and because it's it goes with il, the third person plural, then we're going to conjugate être, ils sont, vous êtes, ils, elles sont. So our answer is sont, and then arrivé, we'll drop the R, add the accented E, and then add an S because it's plural. There's no need to add the other E because there's not, any indication of that we need the feminine, E added. So sont arrivés, ending with the accented E and an S. And then you'll go through and same thing. Here's another il, so it's going to be very similar, except the past participle is different, so we're adding an S after venus, V-E-N-I-S. But we've got sont venus. And then, here, so you just look at your subject, conjugate être in the present tense, and then make the past participle agree with the subject here. And then you're going to make these following sentences negative, which is just going to be putting the ne and pas, in this case, around. It's always going to be around the conjugated auxiliary verb or helping verb. So, il est arrivé au tribunal. The ne and pas just go right around, but because this starts with a vowel, then we'll just do the N apostrophe. And then same thing, goes around the conjugated auxiliary verb, but in this case, because it's a question, it has been inverted, but you can't separate it, so it'll still go ne and pas right, before and after the little helping verb and subject combination right there. And then finally for the homework, venir and venir de is right here, we will follow this example. Express at what time the following people are coming to the school's end of term barbecue. We've got Pierre and 8 o'clock. So you're just going to be conjugating venir in the present tense. Here we have Pierre vient à 8 heures. In this one, we will, so it's reminding you a little bit of your numbers and how to tell time. But if you keep your venir conjugation chart handy, for this one you'll have two, and you'll see it's vient, V-I-E-N-S, sorry. And then you can either do 8 heures moins le quart, 8 o'clock minus the, quarter, or 15, quarter, or you can do 7h45 if you prefer, 7h45, and that's how you would finish that sentence. Usually it is very common within the last, 10 to 15 minutes especially, to use the next hour minus kind of format. But here we have Bruno et Gaston. These two guys together would be il, the third person plural, viennent. Bruno et Gaston viennent à, accented A, again, 7h moins 10, 7 o'clock minus 10. If you wanted to do 6h50, you could, but it's just not as common, so we just get in the habit of thinking of time in the way that the French do. And then finally, we will just be looking at whatever this verb is. We're just using the all of the verbs that are conjugated like venir, and then just finding the correct form. Le témoin venir comes au commissariat de police. The witness comes to the police station. And so then we'll just put vient, V-I-E-N-S, T, because it's third person singular. And same with these other verbs, it would just be devient and revienne. So just making it agree here. And then the last section here is to tell what these people just did. Remember, venir with de changes the meaning of venir to come, meaning this just happened. So we have je and manger. Je viens de manger. So we still conjugate venir in the present tense to agree with the subject, and just put the correct form of de, or d apostrophe, wherever, if it's before a verb. Here's another example. We have tu and then se réveiller. Tu viens de te réveiller. We still need to make the reflexive verb agree with the subject, even though the reflexive pronoun agree with the subject. The reflexive verb stays in the infinitive because we have venir as our conjugated verb. So then this one would be, nous venons de jouer au tennis. And then that's all for that. And then don't forget about the regular reading comprehension questions. I've had people say that they are having a hard time accessing the story. I'm not exactly sure why. I can either send you the link directly, or you have the story available to you in the slides. There's that, and then there's you doing the 3 forms, or 3 of the practices, little games or whatever with each vocabulary with the set. And then the quiz from last week. Make sure you review the slides because it is kind of a more in-depth quiz than we usually have. So call if you need any questions. Thanks.